Good morning. Good morning. So nice to have you with me again this morning. Episode 71. Really excited about this one. Today I'm going to be talking about using video for a whole variety of things, but I think mainly to build your personal brand and to build your business and, to connect with your existing clients as well as prospective clients. And that is really what today is going to be about. There's a whole host of things that I want to get into, like why do you need to use video in the first place? What are all the spin-offs that you can get from using video? Then the types of videos. I'm going to look at how do you get started, and then also some software tools that I use and that you can use as well. That just makes it simple. I think if there's one thing that I've learned over the last couple of years with regards to any content creation, specifically on the audio and the video space, is how to really streamline that process. Some people are able to get other people to edit their videos and to edit their audio and get it all done for them. And some of us do everything ourselves. So what you want to do is make it as simple and as quick and easy as possible so that you don't spend too much time on that. But anyway, good morning. Nice to have you. What is it today? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Next week this time we'll be having a show. But then straight thereafter, it'll be the estate planning refresher, which I'm looking forward to very much. So let me see who is here this morning. I love this. Terence, double espresso in hand. I don't know what I've got. My wife is surprising me. You see, this is the one thing about this is that I don't know what's in here. So it may be coffee, it may be tea. So that first sip is going to be a surprise. But anyway, good stuff. Good morning, Kobus. He says you amaze me every time with your tech-savvy skills. Look forward to our session after the show today. Yeah, me too. So got some stuff I want to show you. Alrighty, so Kevin, good morning, Kevin and Denise in the house. We've got Casper and Chart. Good morning, everybody. Malcolm, good morning. And then Razan, thank you. No pressure, eh? So Razan says, I'm super excited about this topic. I think we'll be seeing some innovative ways of using video coming to the forefront. I think I want to talk more about like the reasons for doing video and some of the things to get you started. And the reason why I decided on this topic, by the way, is that I'm in the process of creating a program of which part of it is about content creation. And we'll go a little bit more into video, but I thought, video is something that I love to do. It's something that has really worked well for me. And that's why I wanted to share this. So I sort of want to lead with that message today. And then somewhere in the future, we'll get into all the different ways. Although I will be touching on the different types of videos and things that you can do. But let's see how deep we go with that. So Ian, good morning. Nice to have you here. Almin again, good morning. Raymond and Kuvendra. Kuvendra, I think it's the first time, or maybe, I'm not sure. Sorry if I don't recall seeing you here before. But if you were, welcome back. If not, welcome for the first time. Marlies, good morning. Nice to have you here. Khadziandi once again, good morning. Hugo Blom, goeiemorgen. Johan Vosloo, goeiemorgen, Johan. Then we've got Peter Strydom. Hanley Hutting, good morning, Hanley. Nice to see you here again. Neil Phillips, good morning. Carol, good morning. Carol says she's also excited about today and looking forward to your tried and tested input. Yes, still learning, eh? Still learning. There is so much to learn. But one video at a time. So Stephen Nell, good morning. Shlanganani, got Gemotso in the house. Gary Walker, good morning. And I've got Kuvendra says thanks. Good stuff. So I just want to turn my phone upside down so that it doesn't distract me. And then we can get going. It was quite interesting. So yesterday or this morning, when was it? Last night, this morning? I can't remember. But anyway, so I watched this video clip where one of the people that was an inspiration for me to start the show in the first place, where they asked him on his show, what is his process for coming up with topics? And it's just a 1 minute something video. So Pat Flynn, you can go check that out. But it was so me. And I mean, it's like, he says, usually the morning in the shower before the show, which is typically what happened this morning again. So I couldn't decide on a topic. And this morning at 6:45, I decided this is what we'll talk about. So then you go create the image, create the show, do the outline, shower, ask, plead with your wife to make your coffee. Not that I have to, she just gets up and does it. But yeah, so that's how it goes often with these daily shows, because he's doing the same thing. So before we get into this, guys, thank you very much for everybody that's been subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet or it's your first time here, please consider subscribing. If this is something you're going to get value from, then please consider doing that. And also connect with me on LinkedIn. It will be a pleasure to connect with you and to get to know you better. And that'll be awesome. And then just give us some love, please. And even if you're watching the recording, please comment down below on the videos, whether it's on LinkedIn or on YouTube, wherever you may be watching. But that'll be great. And then remember to chat to one another. Alrighty, so just once again, I don't think I did this yesterday. If I did, I'm sorry, I'm going to do it again. But please remember the online refresher. You can still register. This is now a week from today. So next week, Tuesday, from 9 until 12, we're going to do the estate planning refresher. And you can register at francoisdutoit.co.za/online refresher. Only 350 Rand. If you're not a Profile Me client or an Ignite member, then it'll be 350. Otherwise, Profile Me clients, 315 Rand. And my Ignite members is only 300 Rand. Thank you very much. I was sitting working until 2 o'clock this morning, and there were still registrations coming in every now and then. So thank you very, very much for that. If you've registered already, really from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward, because this is going to be one of those sessions. And I looked at my stats again, all of my stats, the survey results from when I was asking about the refresher. So the first refresher that people said, well, this is my most pressing one, is a general financial planning refresher, which we did back in, when was it? In April. Then in May, we did the business assurance one. But the second biggest one that was requested was actually the estate planning. And I see there's a number of people that have registered that I haven't seen at one of my refreshers before. So for that, I'm very, very, very thankful. And I really want to thank you for your support, and also for helping me to get the word out there. Let people know about the estate planning refresher. And so let's see. Great stuff. Then just a reminder, so tomorrow I've got Roelof Horn from, no, the name escapes me. But anyway, Roelof is back. Roelof was here in one of the episodes where we spoke about the markets and investments, etc. And he'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to be demystifying discretionary fund managers, to see what it's all about. And is it something, I know there's many of you that are using it already, but I do want to sort of have that conversation, one, for those who are using discretionary fund managers, to sort of, just refresh a little bit on what the value is there and whether it makes sense to do that. And then also for those that don't know about discretionary fund management and you're still trying to pick all the funds yourself, maybe there is an opportunity there to look at that. And I look forward to having him. He's from Might and Optimal. There you go, Might and Optimal. And then on Friday, I've got Lisa Gering, which I can't wait for. She is the mountain climber, and she has climbed big mountains, and there is really a twist to her story. So it's going to be very inspirational, and definitely something that you want to not miss. So join us on Friday morning at 8 a.m. for that live here on the show. And with that, let's get into today. Let me just say good morning. So there we've got, some more people that came in. Jaco Roots, Raymond Westner, Carl van Vieren, and Kuketsu. Good morning, everybody. Really nice to have you with us. All right. So here we go. So why video? I think it was Brian Parsley that mentioned in his episode, and you haven't watched that yet, you need to go and watch that one. It's the one about strategic communication and strategic conversations. It was quite an interesting, I think a lot of people thought that that's going to be, how much do we still need to learn about communication? But Brian really made that so interesting. So you really need to go check out that episode if you haven't watched it. But anyway, so he said there that communication is a small percentage of what we say, and then there's a bigger percentage about what we hear, and then the biggest percentage actually about what we see. So it's really important that if you take that into consideration, I think it was something like 55% of communication is body language, is what we see. And, so if you think about that, and we can't be face to face, then video is obviously the next way. Because if I switch off my video and I say certain things, you are definitely, every single one of you are going to experience the message differently. You're going to hear different things. But if you're all looking at me, you can see whether I'm smiling, whether I'm upset, whether I'm like, still asleep. But you will be able to see that. So that is one of the biggest reasons I feel that video is so important, and it's something amazing that I've really, for the first time, really experienced. Doing what I'm doing, is that there's real relationships being built. And I've had a number of messages come through to me saying, like, Francois, I still want to give you a call. I want to talk to you because it feels like I know you already. And that would not be possible, even if you were listening to my podcast, every single day, even if you were reading my articles every single day. But because you got to see me, and unfortunately, I wish I could have seen you, maybe we should have done this via Zoom so I can see all the faces. But it doesn't matter, there's a relationship that formed there. And I hope that if we are allowed, when we go back into the streets and when we can have conventions and conferences and things again, that you'll, if you run into me and I unfortunately don't really recognize you immediately or anything, please come and say hi. That's why we did this, is to build a relationship. So I want to invite you to do that. I just think that video allows us to make a much stronger connection with other people much quicker. And there's many different ways. I'm going to talk about the different ways that we can use video and the different types of videos and things that you can do. So it's not necessarily that you have to be on camera when you use video, because video is about much more than that. But if you do, it just opens up the doors, I think, for so much more, and for people to get to experience you. And this is the power, I think, also, if you look at somebody that's doing public speaking, they get up on stage, there's 100 or 200 or 3,000 people in the room, and everybody sits there, and at once you get to communicate to a lot of people. And also those same people have the opportunity to make a decision whether they like you or not, whether whether you know what you're talking about or not. And the ones who don't will just go off in one direction, and the others who do will want to connect with you. So, from a video point of view, I think that is extremely important. And then the other big benefit about video is that you are creating multiple sources of content, by producing one video. And that is still the most amazing thing. I've got so much plans, or so many plans, I don't know, I've got, anyway, a lot of ideas for the content, because we've recorded every single session. I've got the audio for every single session, so we want to butcher them up and make podcasts out of them as well. If you look at the scripts, so I don't have a script, I just have like an outline like this. But how powerful is this to write more articles? If you do want to go and transcribe the videos, then you'll have everything that was said on the video, and you can use that as an article, or at least as a starting point for an article. So you can do all of that. Then one of the things with video is that people get to consume your message in various ways. And I think video is the only thing that can bring this unique sort of aspect to the table. Because, most people prefer to watch, okay, and they love that, and I'll get to why that is. But you can watch. But while you're watching, you're also hearing, because I'm speaking, or there's some music playing, or there's some sound effects, or there's whatever you're doing in the video, but there's vision, so you can see, and then there's auditory stuff, so you can hear things, so you experience it with two senses, okay? And then also, often if there's captions and things at the bottom, or wherever there's text on the screen, then you're also reading at the same time. So there are sort of three ways that we are consuming the content. And I think maybe that's why it's so much more impactful if we can use video. So my question to you is, if you just think about it, would you rather watch, and I know this is going to be, some people's going to say, oh, I'd rather read the book. But most people would prefer to watch a story than listen to the story. So if you had a choice between watching a movie or listening to the audio track from that movie on the radio or somewhere, you'll probably prefer watching the movie. I think, one, because it's maybe less effort, and on the other hand, it's just, I don't know, it's like our minds love all the visuals and the lights and the movement and all of that thing. It keeps it interesting. You need to concentrate less. Whereas if you're listening to audio, you really need to concentrate. When you're reading an article, you really, really need to concentrate. If you're reading a book, you really need to concentrate. So you look at those three mediums and which ones requires the least amount of energy, and it would definitely be video, in my opinion. And I think that is a big reason why that is. So I've already alluded to sort of, if I've got this one piece of video content, what else can I do with this? So I want to talk a little bit about the spin-off content that you can create from a video. And obviously the first thing is that I can extract the audio, and that's very easy. If I look at the software that I'm using for these live streams, when I'm done, if I click end broadcast, immediately I can download both the video as well as the audio from the video separately. So I sit with that MP3 file, and there's also software that can do that. If you've got the video, you can say, well, just save the audio track from this video separately, and you can save it in many different formats. But then I've got audio, which I can then easily go and edit a little bit for the podcast, or I can publish it just like that if I wanted to. So depending on the format of your show. So if you've got a more, well, if I say show, the format of your video, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you have a live show, there's a lot of greeting and talking and answering questions and things like that. So some of the things will be interesting to somebody watching the recording. But for somebody watching the recording who wasn't part of the live show, they don't necessarily want to watch or listen to all the greetings and all those kind of things. Just saying hi to everybody. While you're live here, it's awesome, But if you're watching the recording, it's a different thing. So there's a few things that one would need to consider as far as that is concerned. And then obviously the second thing is, if I've got the audio, I've maybe written either a framework or I've written a script. Some people love writing scripts, and they've even got I can't remember what they call it, but like a thing that you can read the script from. So it'll scroll through like they use on TV, and you can read the script, just so that you don't and ah, and that you say exactly what you wanted to say and you don't forget anything. So a lot of people like doing that. I don't. I like the bullet things, and just whatever's coming out of my mouth is coming out of my mouth. And that is how I've done all of my videos and all of the live shows so far. In fact, I think the first live shows, and I want to go back and watch them. I said to my wife last night, I want to go watch the first episodes again. And there I had no plan, and I had no framework, no nothing. So it was only about the second, third, or fourth episode where I decided, maybe I must just have a plan and something that I want to discuss and that. So since then, I've been doing it in exactly that way. So once I've got the video, the audio, and the article, so I've got now, so obviously video, I've got audio, and I've got written format. Then I can start to chop all of those up into posts. So I can have short clips of the video, maybe punchlines in the video or specific aspects. Gary Vee is very good with this. So you'll have this hour-long talk, and then I'll create multiple things like little snippets from that video, which they post separately. So you have posts, you have the snippets, you have all these different kind of things that you can create from that one piece of content that you did. And the nice thing about it is that maybe you go and create just that main video, and that main video doesn't need to be an hour or half an hour. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 2 minutes, it can be 10 minutes. Whatever is necessary in order to get the message across, that is what you'll do. I mean, if you think about yesterday's episode, we were only I think it was 23 minutes or something, where you are used to me going for an hour. And then I said, well, if it's only me, it's going to be between half an hour and 40 minutes. So things will change depending on that. But I felt yesterday that I don't have to belabor the point. I don't have to stretch it out if it's not necessary. I think we got the point across about mind mapping and sort of Gitmind and that I use for that. So when you've got the message across, stop and move on. But then when you give that piece of content to somebody else, they can really go look at it and say, oh, this was interesting, this was interesting. Or even if you look at your notes, you can say, well, these 2 or 3 things was interesting. We can make 3 separate little things from that. And they can take the existing, the audio or the video or write an article about that, or just make little posts. So create an image, maybe with you on it, maybe with your business's logo if you want that, and just a short little saying, or pretty much like my thumbnails almost. So you can sort of have that one punchline thing, or just to say what this is about, and then everything you write above in the comments, or not in the comments, in the post area where you can write, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't matter. All of them, Instagram, you can write a lot on those posts, except on Twitter, but most of them you can write a lot, and that can be like, just sort of explaining that point. Maybe you just want to create that image and just send it around to your clients and just make them aware of this and send them a link to the actual video. So you don't have to write anything. You can just create that little image with something that's thought-provoking on it, send it through to the client, and then they can go to the link to go watch the video. And also what makes it easy is for these things to get around is so much easier. You don't have to rely on an algorithm to get the video out there. If you can distribute it to your clients via your email list, via your WhatsApp, put it on your website, whatever it is, you can make people aware of that. And if you have something like Profile Me, for example, you'll have, this is not a paid promotion, but what is awesome about Profile Me is that, and I know this because I'm busy creating one for myself, so that you can embed some of these videos in Profile Me. So that when a client goes onto Profile Me and they see all your contact details and everything else, whatever you've got on there, and one of the things can be videos, and they click on it, and you can update that from your site. So every time they go in there, there's maybe a new video, there's maybe a video of the week, a video of the month, there's maybe a market update, or or maybe you're hosting an event or something, and you can do it that way. So there's so many ways to get the content out there. Before we get stuck into, I hope the algorithm, because there's nothing more disheartening than working your butt off to create an awesome video and then nobody sees it on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever you host it. So that is some of the spin-off content that you've got. I'll get to your questions at the end. The last 2 episodes, I think I forgot to go back to the comments and have a look. So I want to talk a little bit about the types of videos that you could do, because obviously a lot of people are afraid of video, and certainly like my own wife, we had an interesting fight once about like when I wanted her to do a video for something that she was doing, and she didn't want to, and I eventually convinced her, and then it turned into this whole like, no, because like, they get like just all formal and all, I've got a friend like that as well, and I told her like, just be yourself, just be you, because people love to listen to you. They can spend hours listening to you and talking to you. Don't worry about a script. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Just be you, because you can go edit the stuff afterwards to take out the ums and ahs and the mistakes and all that stuff. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. I mean, I'm just looking at my show, for example. Like in the beginning, it was now it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I talk and I talk and I talk, and it's not because I sort of have a natural talent for this. Not at all. It's just that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's like driving a car. In the beginning, you have to think about the clutch and the petrol and the brake and the handbrake and sort of which gears go where, and then you got to look at the signs on the road. So there's all these moving parts, and you get confused and you get frustrated. But the more you drive, the more you don't think about it anymore. You just do it. And it's exactly the same with creating any kind of content. And I think I just maybe want to say this, and I should have said this maybe right at the onset, is that video is not for everyone. You've got to choose a medium that will work for you. So if you love writing, rather start a blog, rather start writing articles and send them to publications and so forth to the media so for them to publish. If you love to talk and you're very good with communication, but you don't want to be on video, then podcasting is maybe your thing. Or then if you are comfortable to get up here and maybe you just want to challenge yourself, because don't use that excuse to say, well, I'm not a video person, just because you're afraid. Okay, because I'm going to get to what you need to get started in a second. But that's very important that you don't discount video or eliminate video from your options just because you're afraid. You got to make that distinction where you're not comfortable, it makes you too anxious. It's not something that you want to overcome. It's not something that you're going to overcome. Then you look at some of the other mediums, because video is not the only medium, but it is a very powerful one. So what are the types of videos? Sorry, I got into a whole rant there without getting to the types of videos. Well, the easiest thing, I guess, to do and to get started, just to get used to sort of hearing your own voice and doing that kind of thing, is to do a screen recording. So that is where typically you'll have a slideshow or something like a PowerPoint deck, or you'll have a keynote or whatever it is that you're using, and you just you've got these slides, you record the slide, and then you talk with that. So many of my courses are like that in the beginning, so you didn't see me, it was just the slides. So you can have movement on the screen through different animations, or as the text comes on, or images, or whatever you're using in that to convey sort of the message around that. And then you just talk. So you can do screen recordings. They are the easiest to do. specifically if you are getting started, because it's also easy then to have a script and to look at things and not be uncomfortable about what it is that you want to say. So screen recordings are definitely there. Then I think maybe one of the easiest things to get started with, but this is the one thing that I think people are very, very afraid of doing, is stories. So stories is a feature on Instagram. It's a feature. It actually came from Snapchat initially, where you could make these short little clips, usually 30 seconds or up to a minute and a half, I think is the maximum that you can do. I'm not sure. The different platforms have got different versions. But so it was initially Snapchat, and then Instagram came with it, and they sort of stole the show. And it's also available on Facebook. So I do use stories to make people aware of the show on Facebook, but I don't post anything. I don't say anything. It's not a video or anything like that. It's just the image. So on a story, you can post images, but you can also post short little video clips. So if you just want to share a short little nugget of gold, a short little tip, or something that you've learned, or maybe something that has happened with a client, or something about your business, or something that you want to celebrate, anything like that, you can put on a story. Because what you do is you take your phone, it's like a selfie video, you talk into it, and that is how people perceive. None of these story videos are produced. None of these story videos, they can be edited, but you really edit them. It's really a in the moment kind of, and that's why they're called stories. And the idea is that you can post multiple things, from your day in that story, and it will stay there for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, it just disappears. The same with your WhatsApp status. It's actually the same as as a story. So we can use it everywhere. And that's sort of also an easy way just to get comfortable. And I know that there was a podcast that I listened to a while back, where they said, specifically the younger generation, they don't like these produced, awesome setup kind of videos, because they think they're inauthentic and maybe they're not real. They fake, So they like these in the moment, not well produced outside. If I say not well produced, it can still have a lot of things that I'll talk about in a second, but it doesn't have to have a studio like I've got. This is different. This is a show, so for me, this is important. But there's other stuff. You've seen me send videos where I'm just talking. I'm standing outside here in the backyard and just talking to you, and you can see all the ugly telecom cables, and you can sort of see what's going on around me, etc. So, but that's it. Those are like real in the moment things that you can use. So definitely from that point of view. Then also sort of the types of videos, that you can do is obviously educational videos, which is a lot of the things that I did during the show. It's more educational in nature. Can also be motivational and inspirational. So we've had some of that. You can do interview kind of videos where you are speaking to someone else, and you don't even have to interview somebody like I'm always doing. You could just ask somebody to make a video for you that you can send on to your clients. So it's also not always about being you. And just think about this, how awesome it could be if you could showcase the people that are working with you in your business. Like this is Poppy, maybe not. Let me not use Poppy. But anyway, this is Susie or Glenda or somebody, and say, well, yeah, this is the lady that you've been sending me emails about, to say, well, what's just absolutely amazing and fantastic. So you can introduce them, and so that people can get to see them and really just get a feel for them, even though they've been talking with them on the phone. So you can showcase your business, you can showcase your team, you can showcase your services. You can just sort of, get the way that you do things differently. What makes you different? Those kind of messages are the things that you can get out there. And you'll hear some people say, well, people don't listen to that. I don't agree. There's a lot of people who are very interested in what you stand for and what your philosophy is and all the things that are really important to you. So I don't really say it's important to tell your story. I saw a video also a while back where a guy was interviewing himself, and they said, well, it was because they've got a huge channel, like 4 million subscribers, and they didn't get I think they got 7,000 views or something. And he said it wasn't a successful video, but it was something he wanted to do. I found it extremely fascinating. And it was really interesting. I was smiling half the time if you see this guy, because they edited it in a way that he was literally, you could see him on both sides of the table on the screen, and he was interviewing himself, asking the questions, and then he was answering. And I think it was done amazingly well. But those things are important. How do you get people to experience you, who you are, and what you stand for? Because that is why people do business with you. So those kind of things are also very important. And also you can do things for entertainment. One of the best videos I've seen is from a guy that was actually with me in school. He was about 2 years older than me, but he's an advisor in Pretoria. And FMI at a stage did these videos with testimonials. And he, apart from that, he's a supporter of FMI. He also had a claim with them. So something went wrong and all of that. Anyway, he could claim. But when they made this video, if you look at all the other testimonials, call it a testimonial, all of these videos that different people made, they were the typical sit down and talk and that kind of thing. No, not Andre Cronje. So you can look at that one, FMI Andre Cronje. He dressed as Batman and he made this whole elaborate thing about and it was just so much fun to watch, and did it take away from his professionality? No, not at all. It was amazingly done. So I really, really enjoyed that. So you can also do videos for entertainment if that's your personality. I mean, don't go and do things that obviously you are not comfortable with. And then obviously for marketing, very important. So you can make people aware of certain things. But I think that if we educate more and we serve more and we entertain more, then that is marketing in itself as well. But you could go and market certain services and things that you do have. One of the videos on my channel is Meet the Team, where people can see who are all the people that I work with and that I collaborate with, because it's not, they don't work for me, but I work with them and they are part of the team. So when we are doing let's say trust audits, then they can I make use of them. So I look at some of the aspects of that. I've got somebody else that looks at it, and then we've got somebody else who can actually get the changes done. So it's a team effort, but we work with one another, and it's important for people to know who they are, what their background is, and why they are awesome and why they are part of the team. So all of that is also on there. And I can see it's one of the videos that I haven't promoted that much, but it is one of the videos that's getting more views organically than some of the others. And then just one last thing, if I look at types of videos, there's obviously this thing between recorded video and live video. What I like about live video is the interaction. It is the fact that I can sit here and actually get questions and answer them. And that was the whole premise behind the show in the first instance. But I didn't get enough questions. So then it became something where I discuss a topic, and if there's then questions around that, I would answer that. But it's really the interactivity and all of that kind of stuff. And also having to think on my feet, having to just sometimes deal with technology and looking at the camera and speaking and remembering what I wanted to say, and sort of maybe looking at a bullet point and say in my mind while I'm saying something else, what the hell's next? So that's interesting. But you can do different things with live. So you can have live webinars. Okay, so webinars is obviously usually more focused towards selling something. At the end, that's really the purpose of the webinar. So either you want to get people to sign up to your email list, or you want people to sign up for a course, or you want people to sign up for your service, or anything like that. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, maybe you're having a client event, you might want to make people aware of this client event, you host a webinar. So it really has an educational component that adds that gives value to the people attending, and then at the end there's an offer usually. But then you also have webinars. So and this is the thing, like when you start using words interchangeably, but a webinar can also just be a presentation just to create awareness. So you can also do it like that. Then you can have like a show format like I'm doing, where there's certain things that we do, there's a certain structure in that, and you do it regularly. So, and it's also focused in one sort of thing. So although we've been talking about a variety of different things, it is still all aimed at financial professionals and sometimes at business owners. But that's definitely what one could do. And then on the recorded side, and also live will typically be longer. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be longer, but it just typically is. And also what I found is that people that watch live consume a lot more of the video than people who watch the recordings. So when you do recorded videos, you can do them shorter. Usually 10 to 15 minutes is usually a good sort of time. But if you need half an hour to make a point, then do half an hour. If you only need 10 minutes, if you only need 5 minutes, only take 5 minutes or 10 minutes to make that recorded video. But those are the different types of videos that is important and that we can consider. And I think there's many more, and I'll look at the comments. Hopefully there's some ideas there. But then next up is, what do you need to get started? Well, for me, the first thing is you just need a little bit of courage, okay, and a little bit of confidence, and there you go. And if you don't have any confidence, you need at least courage, or somebody to support you through this sort of process just to get you started. And remember that you can create 10 videos, 20 videos, 100 videos that you never publish. Nobody says that if you created a video that you must publish it. That's up to you whether you want to publish something. But the other thing I want to sort of warn you against is that don't let perfectionism hold you back. I looked at a video yesterday where this guy was talking about public speaking and all of that, and then he showed his very first talk. And it was like, you can't believe it's the same person. But yet, he said in that talk, so many people came to me, it was fantastic, and because they are focused on the message. Often the message is more important than the polished sort of like, how beautiful, is it too dark, is it too light? No, it's more about the message. So if you know that you've got a good message and you've got something that you want to say, then don't be afraid to do it. But as I said, you can create these videos and just never publish them and that'll be sort of your internship, just at least start practicing to create these videos and learn maybe a little bit more about, if you've got a teenager or someone, they can probably edit those videos for you, or you can find somebody to edit it for you. It'll cost you money, but it's one of those things. So you either do it yourself or you invest into somebody that helps you with that. So what do you need? Well, first of all, apart from courage and confidence, you do need a camera. If you want to be on screen. Okay, so if you don't want to be on screen, you don't even need a camera. And there are different sort of cameras that you can use. Obviously the webcam, and you've got a built-in webcam on your laptop. They're not usually the best, even if they're HD. I don't know, for some reason, I think the chipsets they use are just not that fantastic. So you find that sometimes that is washed out, and also it's not crisp. It's not, and even if you look at what I'm streaming here, this is at 720p. So this isn't even 1080p. So 1080p is full HD, and then HD is just 720p, and then you get 4K and all these like weird and wonderful stuff. But my camera can do 1080p, but it is set to 720. So what you're seeing on the screen is 720. It is not even the full capacity of what my camera can do. And it looks so much better. If I switch to my 720 laptop camera, it will not look like this. It's hazy. It's it's desaturated. And I know you can go set some of those settings, but not the best look and feel. But if that is what you've got, then that is what you use. Because you can only get better over time. You can only invest into things to make it better. It doesn't have to be perfect before you start. So you have your webcam, whether it's an external webcam or the one integrated into your laptop. And then obviously you get something like your phone. So this is fantastic. So your phone is really a fantastic tool. I do most of my videos, I do actually with my phone. When I broadcast like this, I use my camera, and when I'll be doing like sit-down talks or my recorded videos, I'm going to use my webcam. But my phone otherwise is the camera that I use. And then also you can use a DSLR, so that's just a normal, not a mik and druk anymore, but it is your normal camera that you will take photos with. They all have got video capability these days. They are more expensive. I mean, you're looking for a proper one that probably around 8 to 12, if not more. Just for a basic version. So if the more you get into the proper stuff, the more expensive it's going to get. But you've got the functionality of being able to change lenses and sort of depth of field and all sorts of weird and wonderful things that you can do with that. And then obviously you can also use a camcorder. So I've got two of them. Again, they're supposed to be full HD, but doesn't matter how much light I put in this room, it's grainy. It has this noise. So it's not perfectly crystal clear like I'm seeing on the screen at the moment. So, but that is what you can use for that. The second thing that you need is audio. And the first audio that you will use is obviously the built-in microphone of either your phone or your laptop. And I've heard, again, so many like people that if you look at their videos today and you look at their first videos, there's a massive difference in the quality, not only in the content and the way that they speak and the way that they do things, but actually in terms of the production of that. So how clear their picture is, how good their audio sounds. All of them, the initial audio was echoey, and it was obviously you can hear that they used the microphone from their laptop, or even if they were using their phone, if the phone is quite a distance from you, I mean, audio will be echoing in the room, So there are certain things that you can do, and you can minimize that by having a lot of curtains and carpets, and maybe even sound reduction things against the walls, etc., so that the sound doesn't bounce. So you can do that to make your audio better already. Or what you just need to do is be closer to the microphone that you've got that's either in your phone or on your laptop. So then the sound will already be better. But best thing is, like, if you can have a lapel microphone. So on all my videos that I do outside, I'm actually wearing a lapel microphone. It's something that's made for my phone by Rode, the Lav Plus, I think it's called. It plugs into my phone. It's got a little wire, goes on here. I can hold the phone in my hand, or I can put it on a tripod, and then I can speak, and that audio is crystal clear. You don't hear much noise or anything like that, so it's really, then it's just so much better than if I was doing a video outside and the camera was over there. It wouldn't sound that great, although these microphones are extremely good. They still wouldn't at a distance sound good. So that's what you could do there. Or then obviously you can go all the way to where you have like a boom microphone, which is a microphone that just, if you look at the microphone like this, it just takes the sound from the front. So this microphone does more or less the same, but it's not a boom microphone. This is a podcast microphone, but still it gets most of the sound right from the front, which means that if there's any sound or anything happening at the back, it's not getting into. And this is the other day, I think Cobus said, when I was complaining about the dogs who let the dogs out, he said to me, well, your noise filtering or your noise reduction thing is working perfectly fine. It's 90% because of the microphone I'm using, because it doesn't pick up sound from the back. So if they're barking on this side, it's unlikely that you're going to hear anything. But other microphones, they pick up all around. So in that case, it does become a bit of a problem. Anyway, so that's that. So that's what you can use for audio. And also, audio can be directly with the video, or it can be a separate thing and you need to mix them afterwards. I'm not going to get into that. But then the third sort of aspect that is important for video is light. And this is something that I've struggled with in this show a lot because, some of the videos I look at it and you can't really see me. I'm very dark, although when I sat here, it looked okay. And then I looked at the videos afterwards. So those are the kind of things. And like, I'm just realizing I never put this light on here. There's a light right here. So maybe let me put it on, and you can see what the difference is. There you go. So there's another light there, and I can change the colors on this to have a different look and feel. But anyway, so that's what you can do. So more light will really enhance the quality of your picture, and it will also reduce the noise usually in a video, so you don't see that graininess and that washed out look. It's more crisp like this is at the moment. But if you don't have lights, what I've got LED floodlights that I've just put onto stands and things, and I've got one ring light, which is just a round light. It's like a circle. It's nothing in the middle. It's just an outline, and it's got a light. Which I can then I can change the intensity of it, I can change the colors of it, so that's quite cool. But the rest of it, this whole place is full of light at the moment. And then the other thing, if you don't have these kind of lights, you don't want to invest into this because you first want to see whether this is going to work for you, then what you can do is just use natural light. So it means that you'll have to record during the day, and you just sit near a window, so that there's natural light coming in. That is the best type of light actually to use for your video. But good lighting is really, really important from that point of view. And then the last thing that you'll need to get started is some software. So some software to sort of at least edit the footage. If you're doing screen recording, you need software that can do screen recording. And then also, you can even do screen recording in PowerPoint itself. PowerPoint, and I guess many other tools like that, has the option to do a recording. So you can record the slides and your voice over it in PowerPoint. So that's awesome. So you don't even need any software to do that. But if you want to edit your videos, you usually need some kind of software. And on that note, I'm going to take you through some of that software that I'm using, and I'm using it very, very successfully. It's cut down the time. So these are not all the things that I've tried before. These are the things that's actually working for me. And I just want to quickly share that with you. So the very first one is called Screencast-O-Matic. So Screencast-O-Matic. That is, I've been using this now for, I think, 4 years, if not longer. It's a very simple tool. There's a lot of people using Camtasia and all these weird and wonderful tools, but they're extremely expensive. For Screencast-O-Matic, it cost me $36 every 3 years. So it's basically $12 a year. And I can screen record, I can edit, and I can do lots with that editing. I can even bring in videos that I didn't record in Screencast-O-Matic and edit them there. So I often do that as well. I can upload directly to certain channels. There's so much you can do. You can add music. There's a whole host of things that's included there. But you can do that all in Screencast-O-Matic. You can even do screen grabs. And I still want to do a video on that or episode maybe on that as well. Like if you need screenshots, well, I've got a fantastic tool that I use for that. But Screencast can even do that. Okay, so all of these things, if you want to create content, it just makes it so much quicker and easier. But anyway, so Screencast-O-Matic, if you want to check it out, you can just go to francoisdutoit.co.za/SOM. So that stands for Screencast-O-Matic. I am an affiliate of them. That's not why I am telling you about this. It's because I've been using it for 4 years. So yeah, it works very, very well for me. If you've ever watched any of my courses, or you've watched any of the webinars that I did for the FBI, I did it with Screencast-O-Matic. And what's nice about it as well, I can just have the screen, I can just have my webcam, or I can have both. And I can move things around, and I can do all sorts of stuff. So it's really an amazing tool, and it's dirt cheap. So you can go check that out if you want to know more about that. All right, so that's the first one. The other video editing tool that I've been using for years, and I think I'm just stuck on it because I've been using it for so long, is Premiere Elements. So it's an Adobe product. So Adobe Premiere Elements. So you get Adobe Premiere, which is the full-on thing that they do movies and that with. It's not that. It's called Premiere Elements. It's also not a monthly subscription. You still purchase it outright. And you have to go look for it on their website. So in the search on Adobe, you have to go put in Premiere Elements. It's a watered-down version of Adobe Premiere, which is their video editing suite. And you can do all the stuff that you want to. There's transitions and all sorts of stuff that you can do. So I often use that one as well, specifically in combination with Photoshop Elements, which I've also got. But Premiere Elements is the one that I use there. I'm in the process of looking at buying a new laptop. It's going to be a proper laptop. Like if I put it on, Eskom will know it. No, I'm just kidding. But with this laptop, I'm going to go more into DaVinci Resolve and these more higher level sort of editing programs, and where we can do color corrections and things like that as well. So I'm going to take my stuff to the next level, but that's not for if you want to get started at all, because you still want to learn about editing and how you should do it and what you should do and how the program works. Because if you've got the basics, then to grow from there is going to be easy. Then the other tool I've been using like religiously is Canva. So Canva.com. So it's an online thing. There's also an app like this morning, that thumbnail that you saw, I created, on Canva on my phone. I didn't even go into the website, but it's nice because whatever I do on my phone, it's on the website. Whatever I do on the website, it's on my phone. So getting things, if I create it on my desktop, and then to get it onto my phone to share is so easy because I just go into the app and download the image that I've created. And I can edit it and make changes and things like that on my phone as well. So Canva.com is amazing. It's for free, completely for free. And everything I do is on the free version. They've also have a pro version that you can look at. So if you are interested in getting that, then you can use my link as well. I've got a link for that as well. Let me just put it in here for you. It's very, very easy. I make it easy for myself to remember these things, but it's just francoisdutoit.co.za/Canva. That's if you want to get the pro version, because there you can do a lot of things in addition. But till date, I haven't needed that, So there's some of the things I would love, and I am considering getting it for myself. But, it's not necessary. You can do everything with Canva. It's one of the most fantastic tools that I've ever used. And then for mobile editing, I'm not sure if it is available on Android. I didn't check, but it's called Video Leap. And with Video Leap, so it's Video Leap, Leap. You can go search for that on your app store, and it's a fantastic tool where you can do editing of a video on your phone. So if you're going to be using your phone to create these simple videos that are easy, you just want to cut or take out certain things, then Video Leap may be your answer. I also use iMovie, but that's only if you're on iOS, or if you're on iPhone. I use iMovie a lot. As well, because it's very simple. I just do the cuts and the transitions, and then so a cut is where you will go from one scene to the next. Just it stops here and just starts with the next one. It also means that I take out things in between. It's also cutting, and then a transition is where something will maybe fade over to something else, or it will make some form of a animation before it goes into the next scene. So that's more transitions. and then obviously adding titles and text and things like that is also then very easy. So those are the kind of things that you can use on your mobile devices or your tablets as well. Alrighty, so yeah, let me see. Good morning, Lofi and Renata and Arun. So Carol says the Brian Parsley's 12-module workshop in video, MP3 and downloadable PDF is streamlined and to the point, strengthens what we might know, but we need to hear it again to actively implement. Yes, it is like, and often, guys, so I just want to this is now on to Brian Parsley's course that he gave to us at no cost if you used Francois as your coupon, but that has now expired. But if you got into that course, often we have to hear things over and over and over again. And one day you are ready to hear that message, or one day that thing clicks. It's the most, I think, disservice that you can do yourself to go into something and say, I already know this. Oh, this is old news. You should go with this whole thing about wow, I'm so glad that I'm being reminded of this. I must remember to do this. You must focus on the things that are really powerful. Because the question is not, do you know this or not? The question is, are you doing this or not? That's where the power is. The power is not in knowing. The power is in doing. So, yeah, I hope somebody will quote me on that and put it on social media. Anyway, thanks, Quivers. Terence, as Francis says, just get started. You get better and better with each thing you do. Yes, Terence, you've sent me a few personal, I haven't even touched on something like that, but these personal little videos, and I think I spoke about it in a previous episode, where you can make these quick little thank you videos, or just a little video to let somebody know about something. Or I think once you send me a thing like, sorry, you can't make it because you're writing exam, but I must have a wonderful show and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that took you 15, 20 seconds, and you don't even edit it, you just do it and send it. So you've really been doing well with this kind of stuff. Yeah, don't wait to be perfect. Absolutely. People relate to people. I learned just be you and you will attract it. Absolutely. Don't be something that you're not, because we can only hold it up for so long before the real person comes out. And it's okay. Just, it takes so much less effort just to be you. It is obviously true that if you're not good for yourself or you're not good for others, then maybe you must consider the person you are. But otherwise, you should go for being just who you are. Mark Dunbar, I want to jump into video. Definitely is powerful. I think a lot of people don't like how they sound on a recording. Yes, for me, it was so weird for me in the beginning. Now it's like what I'm hearing when I'm speaking and what I'm hearing when I'm listening or watching a video of myself, it sounds exactly the same. But initially, it was not the case. That first podcast was like, you're talking through your nose and you say and ah a lot, and, you're just like, you don't have a Douglas Kruger voice, so nobody has except Douglas. So, but you get over that fairly quickly. And it's just like the more you do it, the more it just becomes natural. It's like anything in life. I've done recordings for clients and they think my voice sounds great. Yes, you've got a great voice, Mark. I mean, I've engaged with you quite a lot. So it's not about what, if others get, you will quickly be able to see if somebody isn't enjoying the medium that you are using. So which camera are you referring to, Mark? If I'm using a Logitech C922, you also get the C920. Obviously webcams are a bit of a problem at the moment, so I got mine from Takealot before lockdown. Luckily, I did this in January when I was planning to go live more. So I got it from Takealot. And you can obviously also check any of the shops. But if I can give you one piece of advice as far as your webcam is concerned, is that get a full HD, a 1080p, not a 720. Most, 95% of the webcams in South Africa are 720p. If you go to Incredible Connection, if you go to Takealot, if you go to any of these places, when you just search for webcam and you check the quality, it'll say 720p, 95, if not more of the time, percent of the time. So do look for a 1080p webcam. Because if you've got fiber, it'll easily be able to do that. And also, even if you don't have fiber, you are able to dial down the quality of whatever it is that you want to do. But if you just want to make recordings, you want to have the highest quality possible. So that would definitely be the one. Would a GoPro camera be okay? Absolutely, yes. You just need to check, I know they've got this wide angle lenses, so it may have this fish bubble look or this fish tank look kind of thing. Where it's just stretching out things. So just have a look at that. I don't know the GoPros that well, but just if you can just sort of set that setting that it has sort of a normal focus versus this wide angle lens, because wide angle lenses tend to distort a little bit around the sides, and you can see that it looks a bit different. Yes, Carol says, go for it. Let us know when you publish your videos and would like to share. Go for it, Mark. I'm going to keep you to it. I'm going to ask you every second day, where's your video? The link to SOM doesn't work for me. I will just go check it out. So let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let me just see. Maybe there is something wrong, and then I can go and see. But if it doesn't work, I will go and oh, mine works. There it goes. It doesn't. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I will go and check that. Sorry, that took a little bit. I will go and check it out. So some will work. Just give it till after the show. I'll go check it out. Francois, are you able to touch on the topic of platform options and pros and cons of hosting video content? Yes, Rizana, I think that's a very important question. So obviously I'm doing all my stuff on YouTube at the moment, but YouTube is not the only platform. So you would need to decide on what are you going to do with this content. So if you want to make it available for people to find, if you want to make it available for people to sort of, just come across this on their own, etc. I think YouTube is the best because it is the second largest search engine in the world. And people go to YouTube to go and search for things. If you type in anything in the search bar, you'll see that a lot of people are asking questions on YouTube and how to do this and how to do that and, this versus that and all these kind of things. So, and I mean, they are owned by Google, so I guess that's also a good thing. But so YouTube is still sort of where I've started to build my community, and that it is obviously completely free at this stage. And it's not about being monetized and making money off of YouTube or anything like that. It is more about, like, everybody knows how to use it. It is the second largest search engine in the world. So the chances of you being found is a lot better. But there are other things. So I've also used Vimeo. So Vimeo, sometimes I put videos onto Vimeo. So Vimeo is Vimeo. And they charge actually a fee per month. So there is a free version that you can get a little bit of things that you can do. And then the package starts at $7 per month. So it's not that expensive. You can do some things, but you can't live stream there. You've got to go to the big package, which I think is like $75 or $79 or something a month. Then you can live stream on Vimeo. So Vimeo is definitely, a lot of people prefer Vimeo to YouTube because it's much more focused and it's got some security settings and things that you can use in order to protect your content. But for me, you know what? That's never been a big issue for me. Then also you've got Wistia. Wistia is a lot more expensive than Vimeo, but Wistia is specifically for course creators and people like that. It's really an awesome place to be because there you can do all sorts of settings and things that you can limit people to do and force people to do and all that kind of stuff. So Wistia is also a big one. But for now, if you're just getting started, because what you also can do with YouTube and with all of these platforms actually is to unlist your videos. So in other words, nobody can find it unless they have the link. So that's what we do with our courses. All our courses are hosted actually on YouTube, but you won't be able to find it. So only if I've got the link and I embed it on my website or in my courses can you actually see the video. So that's also something that you could do, is just use them as a hosting platform to have your videos, because you don't want to put your videos directly on your own website because it takes a lot of space, number one. Number two, it's a lot of strain on your website. It's going to make it slow, and it's obviously going to eat up your bandwidth that you get from your hosting provider. So you would rather want to go and host it somewhere else and then embed it on that. And we can talk a little bit more about that. So that's just a very high level overview, Razan. We can get more into that. Yep, agree there. Software tools seem will take a lot of time to learn and master. Yes, it can, but that's why I say, so the software tools that I've shared here is really simplistic. So they are very quick to learn. They are very easy to use. So if you, for instance, didn't use Premiere Elements or you didn't use Screencast-O-Matic and you wanted to go for the big boy, so you want to go for Adobe Premiere or you want to go for DaVinci Resolve or you want to go for Final Cut Pro on Mac, those kind of software is going to take, it's a learning curve like that. It's a mountain that Lisa can't climb. It's like, it's hectic. And that's so overwhelming that you're just going to start and then leave it. There's so many things that you would be able to learn. But what's amazing about these two software products that I shared with you is that they are simplistic. And in fact, they've got Like Premier Elements have got a quick and a guided and an expert sort of interface that you can choose from. And even the expert interface just means that you can control everything, but there are so few things that you can do there that it doesn't make it overwhelming. So very, very easy to use these tools from that point of view. The best way to get something done is to begin. Yep, absolutely. And then Marky says, challenge accepted. Guys, wow, an hour show this morning. Most of you stayed with me. Thank you very much for that. I deeply appreciate it. I wish you well. And please remember to go and register for the estate planning refresher. Carol, yes, I am. You have to go directly to the link, so you won't find it on my website. It's actually just a redirection to the Screencast-O-Matic website, but with my link. So I'm just going to fix it. It's not working at the moment. I'll go look at it and fix it, and then I will let you know about that. But anyway, so just give it about half an hour or so, and you can try it again and see if it works. It's just francoisdutoit.co.za/SOM, and it will take you there. If you don't come right in half an hour, then just go to Screencast-O-Matic. Then it's easy. Alrighty, cool stuff, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time with me today, and I wish you all a great day further. I'll see you tomorrow back with Rule of Horn, and we'll be talking about demystifying discretionary fund management. Have a good one. Cheers.